Oh man, today I am gonna dig into what does being a successful designer look like. Actually, let's flip the switch because listen to the way I said that. What does a successful designer look like versus what does success look like to a designer? So really I'm gonna talk about the second one because here's the deal. I recently, probably the last, 4 or 5 months in the program, I have been emphasizing everybody getting their first sale, like moving forward and getting the first sale. Why? Because it's so motivational. Like once you get your first sale and you can see that your design work matters to someone, not your husband, your sister, your mom, but like to someone random in the world, that's when people realize that like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Okay, so that's why I emphasize it. And I emphasize a lot of different things in our program to make sure that people are staying on track, just staying on track, okay? But here's the thing. Every designer in my program, they're looking for something different. Every single one of them. They're looking for something different. They're looking for the thing that makes them feel successful. So let's talk about that for 1 second, okay? What does success look like to you? Not to your parents, not to your spouse, not to your kids. What does success look like to you? I suspect success for you is less than I even think it is. For some of you, you just need someone to tell you that your artwork is good. That would feel amazing, okay? For some of you, it would be making $500 a month, right? For some of you, $1,000 a month. So there might be a monetary thing. For some of you, it might be that you can design your own things, like your own fabrics, your own SVG files, or whatever it is, and then you can make it, and then someone else uses it. That might feel like total success to you. And I think the thing I want to emphasize is, especially in a program like mine and my Design Suite members are listening, I do emphasize a lot of things, and we do award things like your first shop and doing a course and your first sale, your 50th sale, your 100th sale. We do recognize all of those things. But the real reason why we do all of that is just to make sure that you're on the right track of success. And that might still look different in what you are doing, and I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that. I just don't want, and this has happened a few times where designers will come and be like, okay, now I really have to make money now. It's 9 months into the program. And I'm like, oh, if we had just done the things at the very beginning that I should have been emphasizing, then you wouldn't have that issue right now, right? So success and then also needs, they're very different things, right? What feels super successful to you? What would you get you to where you felt like this was the thing that you were doing, okay? If you are listening with me, if you're on my YouTube channel or you're on the podcast, I actually really, some of you will do this. And those of you who do this, I'm very proud of you. Pull out a sheet of paper. Pull out a sheet of paper. Some of you aren't gonna do it. You're just gonna listen to me, and that's fine because you're driving. Don't pull out a sheet of paper if you're driving. But pull out a sheet of paper, and I want you to really write down what would actually feel like success to you. If you were a designer making stuff every day or making things that made you feel good and you felt very fulfilled from it, what would that look like, okay? Because that's the vision you need of what success really actually is. For me, if it is sitting at my desk today and being able to actually design something, illustrate something, work on something, and turn it in to a manufacturer or to one of my shops, or get to talk to one of my design team members or something about it, that would actually feel very successful to me. Secondary to that is the financial piece for me. It's not important to everyone. It is to me, okay? And that's okay, right? Like if you're in my program and you're like, Carina, I don't care about the money-making piece, I'm gonna be like, kudos to you. Like just design then. Design, 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 design. Make what makes your heart light up. I'm gonna be there for it, okay? But for me, the financial piece makes me feel really good. Like I can provide for my family and design. Yeah, that feels awesome to me. And that's just for me. So I know that that is what success looks like to me, okay? For some of you, success actually looks like just being able to illustrate something every day, put it in digitally, and make something really cool out of it. And then give it to someone that you love, right? Like your own quilt. Like oh my gosh, you guys, I love it when people, especially in my program, but anyone, you design your own fabrics and then you have it printed and then you send it out and have it brought in and then you quilt it. What? Yeah, that's amazing, okay? I remember when I first started becoming a fabric designer, I was working for Northcott. Northcott was my first fabric company I worked for. And they sent me my very first line, which was called Coquette. That was my very first line. Had a green and white and blue, and then a purple. Like that, those were the two different groupings I did. And the green and blue and white, I designed the Coquette quilt, which I think is even free on my website at carinagardner.com. Anyway, if it's not there, there's other free quilts there. Anyway, I made the quilt, and I was a brand new quilter, you guys, brand new. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I went and took a quilt class at my local quilt shop, and it like opened my eyes to what quilters actually do. And so I made my own quilt. I made my first quilt pattern, and it was in my fabric. You guys, in that moment when I held up that quilt, I felt two things. One, I felt fulfilled. And the second thing I felt was successful. And they're actually two things that are very, very similar. I actually think success maybe doesn't even feel nearly as good as fulfilled, if I'm being totally honest. I think fulfilled feels like this is exactly what I should be doing with my life. So if you need to flip the switch on that and say, you know, Carina, I don't know if I need that feeling or I need to figure out what it means to be a successful designer. I need to know what it feels like to be a fulfilled designer. I want you to do that, okay? So if you wrote down, like, this is what would make me feel successful, you can always like kick out the successful and put in fulfilled, because I am here for that as well. I think feeling very fulfilled in what you do every day, it drives us. It makes us continue forward. It makes us actually do the work we need to do, okay? So I think that's an important piece of this whole thing, and if you feel better about the word fulfilled, I'm good with that, okay? Really, really good with that. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me today. Whether you're on the YouTube channel or the podcast, my goal for you is that you come out of this podcast, first of all, feeling positive, like you can move forward. And second, that you are learning things about the brain set, the mindset around being a designer that really actually helps us become a great designer. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.